Welcome back to Nature's Cadence Farm. Today we're going to be working on our mobile home door, and this would be considered the rear door of a mobile home, but we actually use it as our front door. But it doesn't really matter one way or the other because this is going to come out the same way whether you have one of these or not. So this is just a single door. It has a screen and a window in it, but it does not have the screen door, separate. They call it a combo. This is just an exterior door. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take out all these screws here. You can see all these little heads right here, and we're going to have to take the lock set off over here, and that'll be how we need to get the old one out, and then we're going to get the new one in, and I'll show you what we're going to do when we get to that point. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and these are 1/4-inch head screws, and I've got my drill here. This is a Milwaukee impact driver, and I've got a 1/4-inch drive magnetic tipped bit on here, and this is a 6-inch extension. I really like these for getting out the screws because it gives you a little, you can get away from your work a little bit, and it, has plenty of space to work. So there we go. Well, we're going to go ahead and go around here and get all these screws out, and they are all the way around the frame, top, sides, and the bottom down there. So let's go ahead and get started with that. What I've done is left these top screws in here, and the reason for that is I wanted to be able to kind of hold the door in and make sure it wasn't going to fall out. I doubt it will because it looks like there's some silicone around here, and there's probably putty tape behind everything. So let's go ahead and get these out. That impact driver really helps out getting those screws out of there. So got everything removed. Now we kind of got to get in here and pull and pry. There's no hardware inside of here where there'd be like a spring and a bracket that holds it up there. It was never on there, and sometimes we have to open this door up all the way. And oh, actually, something that we did change, we've got, instead of the hinges being on this side over here, we've actually got the hinges over here now. So this will be really nice for us to be able to open the door, because we go in and out this direction a lot. So that's one of the things we're gonna change. So let's see if we can get this door starting to move off of the house itself. I've got this little flat bar here, and I've used this in the past to get in behind the frame. And let's see if we can get this in here. Got to kind of cut through some of that silicone that's in here. Somebody did put on, I'm not sure if it must have been leaking, or they might not have put putty tape on there, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and get in here. So the idea is you get this in here and you pry against the wood that's back behind this, the frame here. So you don't want to pry on just the metal. It's pretty soft. It's just aluminum. But you can kind of, oh yeah, it's definitely got putty tape. So make sure you got all your screws out. And we do, which is good. So you can see I've got this corner started, and you can go ahead and get that moving. We might need to go up top here and get in where this gutter is. There we go. And these are I think a lot easier, because you don't have to worry about the windows when you change out the windows. And be sure to check out, I'll put a link up here for a video on how to change the windows out if you're interested in that too. And all these tools I'm using, I'll put a link in the description. Be sure to check that out too. So that'll help you find what you're looking for. And while I'm prying on this, we'll talk about how I found this mobile home window. You'll want to go to an internet search of some sorts, and you'll look for mobile home dealer, and then type in, or mobile home parts, and then type in your city and state, and that should return some type of information that you'd be looking for. And in my area, I actually have two local that are 30-45 minutes away, so that kind of makes it nice. I can go between. I usually use the one because they seem like they're very knowledgeable, and that's what you want to look for, is knowledgeable dealers. So you can see it's just coming off, and this is a really nice day that we actually are working with here. So definitely don't want to try this when it's 20 degrees out, or 100, I guess. Maybe it wouldn't be too bad at 100 if you didn't have a air conditioner or something, but because this would definitely get, so you can see let me get you into the side here. I'll show you what I'm doing. So you can see the door is separating from the siding, and I'm just taking my time, not getting in any hurry or anything, but you can see the siding separating from the frame, and I'm just pulling easy. I'm not pulling super hard on this or anything. So that's what we're going to do. Just go around this edge like that. Use your pry bar like this, put it in and pull down a little bit at a time, and that really makes it nice, and easy, so you're not putting too much pressure and nothing's flying away on you. You can see one of the reasons we're replacing this door, this whole corner is rotted out. Not sure if it was from, let's say, somebody was putting salt on their deck or something like that, but this is pretty rough there. So once we get to this point, what we need to do is kind of just lean it out a little bit and then pull up on one corner or the other, and it should be, see how I'm kind of walking it back and forth? There you go. One door is removed. So you can see here where the old door was, and we've got all this old putty tape. I'm going to do the best I can getting the old putty tape off. If all of it doesn't get removed, just at least try to get it level. And then when you go to put your new putty tape on, it'll smash it all down in there and look nice. So here's a big chunk here that we can pull off. That's what you're looking for. I've got some gloves I'm going to put on because this stuff gets everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and work around here and get it cleaned up and get back with you when we're ready to put the new putty tape down and get the new door in. I've got a putty knife here and I got some gloves on. And so what I'm going to do is just go around and just try to, like I said, we're not worried about getting every little bit off, but we are definitely worried about getting it mostly flat. So you can see this putty knife works pretty good. The other little scraper thing works okay. But like I said, and that's what we're looking for, is something like that. And that's a good place for us to put our new putty tape down for when we get going with the actual install, which is super exciting for us because we've been waiting a long time to get this new door installed, or to buy the new door. So either way, so let's get this thing off of here, all this junk, and when we get done, I will get back and we'll take another look at putting the putty tape on. Well, I've gotten most of the gunk off, and here's pretty much what came off of there. And you can see I got some of that silicone with it. What I thought was going to be in the way, I went ahead and removed that too. This is not necessary. Some people do it, I guess. If you do, actually, I tell you what, if you do and you have a reason for it, definitely put something down below, because I can always go back and put a bead of silicone around the outside edge. But the putty tape is more than adequate to seal it up, in my mind. And you might have a better idea than that. So either way, let me know that. I'm going to go throw this stuff away, and we are going to get our new putty tape and start getting it installed on here to get ready. But you can see I just got, like I said, got it flattened off enough to where the new tape will set on there and be ready to accept the new door. But here's the new tape, and it comes in a roll like this, and here's a used roll, and I call it putty tape, but your dealer might call it butyl tape or sealing tape. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, for this, I'll definitely put a link down below in the description, and you guys can find this there. Or, like I said, every mobile home parts dealer that I've found has this in stock and lots of it. So um, you'll need about a roll per door. You might need a little bit more than that. That's why I have the backup roll. This is a full new roll, and this is what's pieces and parts of what's left of other jobs that I keep on hand, and that way I can make up the difference. But I'll let you know how much of this gets used for the job. We'll go ahead and get started putting this putty tape on. And what I'm going to do, it's got this paper backing. Leave that on there so you can rub your finger across it really easy, and it pushes down onto the metal. But what I like to do is put a piece of it up here. I'll overlap this corner like this here, wide. So the other piece of tape goes right here. So we'll go ahead and push that on there and get this. See how it just sticks up there by itself with the paper on this side? So you get it up to this corner right here. And then what I'll use is this putty knife that I had before, and I'll put it right there, and that'll kind of mark it, cut the paper, and cut the tape at the same time. So hopefully you got to see that. We're going to do it again. So what we'll do is we'll start down here at the bottom, and I'll work my way up. I've got this piece that goes all the way to the bottom here, and what I'm going to do is hold it where I want it to stop, push in with the putty knife, and that'll kind of cut the paper. And then if you just drag the putty knife across the tape, it goes ahead and cuts that tape off nice and square, and you're not pulling it. Because if you go pulling on this stuff, it'll end up pulling out like it'll start stretching it. So you can see this corner looks really nice. Let me get you in there and show you that a little bit better. So there's that corner, and how nice that edge makes it when you use the putty knife to do that. I'm just lining the putty tape up where the old tape was, because this door should, the new door should fit in there no problem at all. If I keep it where the old one was, that way we're not what we'll call reinventing the wheel, because it's already been proven that that position for the tape will work. So one roll was plenty to do one door, so that's good to know. So we're going to go ahead and get our new door now. We'll leave this tape on for now for just a minute, and we'll get the new door and get ready to remove this tape, the paper, and then put the new door in place. I've got the new door here, and there was a couple of options that we had when we ordered this thing. You can order it with this window in it, white, or I guess aluminum or brown, I'm not sure, but definitely you can order this white, brown, I think gray maybe. There's some different colors. So just, let them know what you want. This doesn't exactly match the original one we had, because we ordered the door, the hinges on this side. So that's something that you need to know when you're going to order the actual door. Is, for one, you need to know the size of the opening. So you need to measure from the inside opening to the inside opening here. So it'd be not this outside flange, which they could probably figure it out from the outside flange. That's what the dealer told me. But you definitely want to measure the opening that it's going to be in. And that'll give you a really good, that'd be the top, top to the bottom, side to side. And that'll give them an idea of what size to order. Mine happened to be a 32 by 76 left-hand slider. And I'll tell you what, I'll get you in here a little closer and I'll show you this, and it says 32 by 76 left-hand slider, white, white, white. And I'm thinking that's white door, white window, white trim. And you can order it however way, like I said, but I ended up ordering it like that, all white. And they had this in stock, actually, which was nice, because it was just ordered. I think it took about a week to get in, somewhere around in there, because I called them up on a Wednesday, let's say. They make the order on Friday. and then it's in the next Thursday or Friday. I think it came in Friday or something. But either way, that's pretty good service, I think, for getting this thing to us. And I'll tell you what, let me get you in here a little closer, and I'll show you the little tag here on the side and the tag on the manufacturer's tag on this thing. Here's the tag that came on it here, and you can see those numbers there, and I guess when they shipped it, and that's where I get my parts from right there. Uh, so if you're in the Central Virginia area, definitely give them a call. Mid Atlantic Mobile Home Parts and Supply. Super nice people, very helpful, and helped me out a lot. So there's the manufacturer sticker there. That's made by Blevins Incorporated, and there's some more information there. So that's just what's on the inside of the door here, and this would be where the strikes are down here. So let's go ahead and get this door installed in the window, or in the frame that it's supposed to be in. So before we get going too far, we need to go ahead and get this paper off of the putty tape. So I'm just going to lean this up against my handrail over here, out of the way. And I've got carpet down. That's a little rug here, so I know the door's not going to slide off. But the paper comes off just as easy as you can imagine. There you go. So if it doesn't stick in a certain place, like right here, just run your hand on there a little bit more with the paper, and it'll hold it. It'll hold that stuff right onto the aluminum siding really well. So you want to go around and and rub all the paper there and get it to stick really well. Got all the paper pulled off. Now it's time to go ahead and get the new door installed. So I need to remove this tag first. Looks like that's going to be in the way. Yeah. So I've got this little clip on here, and if you push the bolt in for the door, it'll release that, and then all you got to do is just get it out of there somehow. But I want to get this off of here. There we go. Get this off of here before I go putting it in. That way it's out of my way and one less thing I have to worry about. All right, so what I'm going to do is leave the door, the plunger latched in there, so I know that's lined up right. And that looks good there. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the door way. I'm going to keep my little pry bar handy because I might need it to kind of pry up on the door to get the top of it lined up right. So I'm going to leave that right there. And what I'm going to do is put the bottom in place, just like that. Then you need to make sure it's centered up in the doorway. Looks like it needs to go this way just a little bit. And there you go. So now it's in mostly, but you can see I've kind of got it this way. I want to make sure I get the door lined up this way and this way to where it used to be. And it looks like the frame itself, the metal frame, is square, but the door, the metal or the wooden door part, is not as square. But I'm just going to center up the door as best as I can in the center of it all. So I'm just going to adjust this putty tape in just a little bit, and that's still plenty to make a good seal. There's plenty in there. I'll tell you what, we'll pull this out here a little bit. Like I said, makes the little pry bar, does make it nice for that kind of stuff. Just stick it down in there. I might have caught it when I was fooling around. There we go. That's got a good seal now down there. All right, so the rest of this looks perfect, actually. I've got, good putty tape underneath of all the screw holes, and it's lined up with the door, the original doorway. And like I said, the metal frame is nice and square, and I'm not sure how square the actual, the wood frame behind this is. But let's go ahead and get some screws in here And let's check the top. Oh yeah, the top lined up perfect. Just going to check the top out here, and the top lined up perfectly even with the original placement. So that's good. It's right where the old one was, so we're good there. I'm gonna go ahead and get my new screws, and my mobile home parts supplier provides these screws. They sell by the pound, and I went ahead and got white-headed screws to match our white trim we have on here. So let's go ahead and get some of these in. Oh, and you can get these are 1.25 inches, and you can also get them in 1 inch. So I got a little bit longer so I could get plenty of bite into this older wood that we have. It's not rotten, but definitely it's had, if I hit an old screw hole, I want to make sure I have enough, enough screw to get in there. So here's the old ones. The old ones were 1 inch, and these might be 1.5 inches, but you get the idea. There you go. So it might take a little bit more work to get them in, but I think it's definitely worth it to get a long enough screw. I'm going to start at the top here, put one in pretty much in the middle. Just like that. And that's going to hold it, hold the whole thing up. Grab a handful of screws here, drop one or two, and go ahead and there you go. There's the second one. Got a handful of screws here, and we're going to go ahead and start putting everything in. I like to work from the top down. Just what I like to do. Seems to work pretty good. So once you get the door installed, you'll want to open up the door by putting something in here and actually, activating the door latch. And that way you can get the door open, and you can see what I was doing was actually just turning that strike right there, the latch. So that's in there, that's good. And then down here in the bottom, so once you get your door open, you'll see there's a rubber shipping block mounted to the bottom of the door, and that's gonna give you a nice, way to get your door square and mount your frame and all. So when you do actually start opening and closing it, there's nothing holding it up, and it's the door was square because this was installed. So it's a little tough to open up the first time, but once you do, it's ready to go. So there you go. There's the door opening and closing. The hinge works great. There's no binding or anything weird going on. So that's really nice. So what I need to do now is get the old lock set off of the original lock set off of the old door and put that into the new door. So here's the original lock set. I just took these two screws. These are Phillips head on mine. And just back those out. And then I've got this knob here goes in to this side. And you can see what I was turning earlier. That's how it turns the bolt, like that. Once I put the outside knob on and in the hole, I just slide the new one, or the interior one, in place. Line these screws up with the threaded parts on the exterior part of the knob. So once you get one started, you can kind of start the threads, and that'll help you get the next one lined up without the other one falling out. All right, here we go. So all that works now. Outside work or inside works. Outside works. Lock works. So this is installed here, and I don't know if you noticed on the other door, I actually had a deadbolt installed on that one too. So we're gonna have to drill this door out and get the deadbolt installed, and we might make that another video. But we did get the door in, and it does lock now, and all this is good to go. So let's go ahead and try it out. All right, here we go. So we got our door. It's working now. Latches beautifully. No slop in there. Everything is tight. And I believe the strike has a little bit of adjustment So if you've got a little slop in your door, like it doesn't actually close up nice and tight, you can actually loosen up these two screws right here and here and slide this strike in just a little bit and go ahead and tighten them back down. And then what we'll do is we'll try the door out again and see if that tightens everything up. All right, let's see if that tightens it up. Oh, see, I went a little too far. But actually, that's not bad. There we go. So that's what you need to do if you want to get your door nice and tight in there. That's perfect. And we can go ahead and check the lock to make sure the lock works. And it does. Perfect. There we go. Nice. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up the video for installing our new door. And like I said, be sure to check out the installation of the deadbolt here. And that's it. So super easy. Actually, if you've got all the right tools and materials, and if you get those dimensions right from the start, and that will make the project a whole lot easier. And yeah, so it looks great. We're really excited about this again. So very, very cool. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.